Hello! In today's video, I'll be sharing a recent studio purchase with you. Although I don't really like haul videos just for the sake of consumerism, I did want to share what a regular brush purchase looks like for a working artist. This box contains some workhorse brushes from my favorite brush manufacturer, Rosemary Co. I place a big order every couple years or so. Since I know which brushes I use most frequently, I don't need to keep on buying them regularly. I just buy a few at a time. Along with my regular brushes that I know and love, I'm also trying a few new brushes, as I often do when I place a big order. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lee Angold. I'm a botanical and natural science illustrator based in Kitchener-Waterloo, Canada. Here on YouTube, I share watercolor techniques and tips and some insights into my daily life as an illustrator. If this is content that you're interested in, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to get to know me a little bit better, I've left all of my links down below. You can also support me on Patreon, where I offer some really cool rewards, including some behind-the-scenes looks and one-on-one coaching. I can't wait to see you there. Alright, now I'm excited to take a look inside this box. I've only just sliced it open so that it's easy to share with you. Rosemary Co always makes these really nice little packages. So right at the front we have this nice thank you card, and it specifies that all of the packaging is recyclable, which is of course appreciated. In my case, I am just going to reuse it to ship some orders of my own. Behind that, there's this Rosemary Co catalog. Now that is a request that I put in. Although the catalog is free, I just prefer browsing on paper to browsing on the web. Next we have this little flyer advertising some workshops they're running, blah blah blah, boring. You can see I'm skipping right past all the other stuff to take a look at the brushes, because that's what I really want to see, even though these are mostly brushes that I've ordered before and use all the time. I'm still always excited to see my new brushes. But wait, there's something else hiding behind these brushes. And I almost missed it because I was so excited about the brushes that I missed that they also packed me some really nice little chocolates and a sticker behind the brushes. Update, because I'm recording this voiceover after the fact, this is really good chocolate. I'm not saying that you should buy Rosemary brushes because they'll ship you nice chocolate. That's kind of an expensive way to get chocolate. But it really is nice chocolate, and it's a nice little extra. And no, Rosemary Brushes is not paying me, although if you would like to purchase some Rosemary brushes, which I definitely do recommend, I have left an affiliate link down below. I've been struggling to unwrap these brushes for the last little while. As you can see, they are very securely packed, which I appreciate. The first two brushes that I managed to get free are two travel brushes. Although I haven't used Rosemary travel brushes before, I am very pleased with all of the regular brushes that I've used from them, and my travel brushes were definitely needing a replacement. I tend to use on average larger sizes of travel brushes than I do studio brushes, just because I'm not focusing as much on tiny details and rather painting a bit faster when I'm out on the go. I was really excited to get two new travel brushes. These are both the travel version of Rosemary series that I'm familiar with. So the smaller brush is a size 4 in a pure Kolinsky sable, whereas the larger brush is a size 8 in a sable blend. I really love the performance of Kolinsky sable for watercolor brushes. Because the hairs have a natural curve and taper, they always spring back to the same very fine point, and they're very long lasting. They also disperse water or pigment very evenly. However, sable brushes can get really expensive, particularly in the larger sizes, so I find that this sable blend is a great middle ground for those intermediate larger sizes where I still want a fine point, I still want some good water flow, but I don't want to spend the huge amount of money it would cost to buy a pure sable. Okay, so next we have the first package of my studio brushes. These ones are my workhorse studio brushes. These are brushes that I use every single day, and you'll hear me rave about them. In my hand here is my supply for the next year or two of Rosemary Co Series 22 designer pointed brushes. This is my favorite shape of brush. They're a little bit longer than their regular pointed rounds, but not quite as long as a rigger. In the studio, I find I use these brushes the overwhelming majority of the time. Since I do quite detailed painting most of the time, I'll use larger, cheaper brushes just for my initial washes, but then I'll spend a lot of time working in a fair bit of detail with these Series 22 small brushes. The size that I definitely spend the most time with is definitely this size 3. These brushes are small enough, and especially when they're new. Thank you, Ember. Right, so as my dog is saying, these brushes are small enough to make... These brushes are small enough to paint even the finest details, but they also hold enough water that I can actually paint a surprisingly large area with them. Next, I have my size 1s. These I don't use nearly as frequently, but I wear them down much faster because I'm painting such fine detail with them. So again, I've got 2 of these. The final brush that's in this little pouch is a real splurge. This is a Series 22 size 5. In the past, for anything over a size 4, I usually go for either a blend or a synthetic. But I really love these Series 22 so much, and I wanted to try a somewhat larger designer Kolinsky sable to see if I would really enjoy that as well. I justified this purchase with the thought that maybe I'll be able to cut out a step and add some more detail directly into some of my first or at least intermediate washes, and in that way be able to get a looser, more lively effect while still maintaining the same level of detail. Anyway, that's just what I told myself to justify this purchase. So let me know down in the comments below, what art splurges have you had recently? Make me feel better. Or better yet, while you're there, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps me, and in turn is going to help me be able to fund my silly art habit. And now I've unpacked the second pouch of studio brushes. These are all synthetics from Rosemary Co's Red Dot line, which is a new line that they've introduced that's supposed to mimic the behavior of sables. So the first way that I use synthetic brushes is for larger washes or areas where I don't need very, very fine detail or very precise water dispersion, as well as for loading paint into my mixing areas. For these purposes, I got 2 of the Red Dot collection, a size 8 and a size 4. Then on the other extreme, there's the other way that I use synthetic brushes, which is actually for my very, very finest details. I find that at the very end of a piece, I often need to push pigments to make shadows deep into little edges of corners, or make very, very fine little dots. This process tends to involve pushing on a brush, which ruins the tip of any brushes. Although I do find that Kolinsky sable under general use holds a point much longer than any synthetic, under these circumstances, any brush will get ruined fairly quickly. So it's just not worth it to spend the money on sables that would get ruined within a few paintings. Here I've got a size 0 and a size 3/0, also from the Red Dot collection. Although I did only buy 1 of each of these sizes, I don't expect them to last me very long at all. Whereas I save my main brush orders for once every year or two, and then I order a bunch of brushes from Rosemary Co. When it comes to these really, really fine detail brushes, I treat them as almost disposable, and I will just buy whatever tiny synthetic brushes along with any other art supply purchase. So whenever I need to stock up on paint or get some fresh paper, I'll throw in a couple of brushes. So that's that. One little haul and unboxing to show you the main brushes that I need to restock in my studio on the regular. Maybe not the most exciting purchase in the world, but this is real life. I hope this little bit of insight was helpful to you. Let me know down in the comments below what art supplies you find yourself ordering and reordering all the time. As always, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you'll be notified when my next video comes out. You can also check out all my links down in the video description. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Until next time, bye-bye!